March 24, 2019. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Today I will talk about the third verse of the 6 miracle verses of Surah Anbia, Surah number 21. This is verse 32. It says, "And we have made the sky a roof, well guarded, yet they turn away from its signs." Its signs means the signs of the earth. Discussion. When we talk about the sky, sometimes we mean the sky which is quite close to us. For example, we say the birds fly in the sky, or we say the sky is cloudy. And sometimes we talk about the sky which is far away from us. Like saying the sun is in the sky, or the stars are in the sky. Quran uses the sky with these two meanings also. Here, the Quran talks about the sky which is rather close to us. I have talked about this subject, the sky which is close to us, separately in 4 sessions under the title The 7 Skies. And I have explained how amazing they are and how they protect life on earth. Here I will talk very briefly about them. The roof of a house protects people who live in the house from harms coming from above, like rain, snow, hail, and also the wind and anything that the wind brings with it. The sky is also, as the verse states, a roof on earth and protects all the living creatures, including the humans, from the harm which comes from above. There are 5 spheres. These are 7 skies altogether. 5 of them, there are 5 spheres which are around the earth and have air in them. Above them, there are 2 other spheres which do not have air. They are very high, but they have severe magnetism. Together, they are 7 skies. The 5 spheres that have air are: 1, the lowest sky, which is in contact with the earth. We live in it, and it has oxygen and water in it, in the shape of water vapor. So it is necessary, these 2 are necessary for the animals and also for the human to live. The name of this sphere is troposphere. Its temperature at the lower part is the same as the temperature of the earth that it is in contact with it. At the North Pole and South Pole, it is very cold, and in between it is warm. When we go up from the earth, the temperature of the poles gradually increases, but at a certain level, the temperature is equal all around it. And the more that we go up, it decreases. At the highest level, it becomes minus few degrees centigrade. Between these five skies, there are four buffer zones. Each buffer zone is a few kilometers thick and has the temperature of the lower part. So above the troposphere, there is a buffer zone, a few kilometers thick, and its temperature is surprisingly minus a few degrees below centigrade throughout. When I say throughout, I mean in Iran at that level it is a few degrees below centigrade. In United States is the same. In China, India, anywhere of the world that we go, the temperature is the same. The buffer zone has this temperature a few degrees below zero, but it is a few kilometers thick. Then there is the second sphere. Another interesting point is that these spheres, five spheres, their temperature changes alternatively. The first one, troposphere, when we go up, the temperature gradually decreases. In the second one, stratosphere, the temperature gradually increases. In the third one, mesosphere gradually decreases again, and it goes all the way this way. And we don't know why, what mechanism causes that. The second sphere, which is called stratosphere, its temperature starts from a few degrees below zero, but it gradually goes up. Then at the end of it, there is a buffer zone with that temperature, which is rather up. Then there is the third sphere, which is called mesosphere. At mesosphere, the temperature gradually decreases. I said alternatively, once the temperature goes up, once goes down. In mesosphere, the temperature gradually decreases and it reaches minus 100 degrees centigrade. This is the lowest temperature in the Earth. Then there is the buffer zone above it, a few kilometers, with temperature of minus 100 degrees. And then there is the fourth sphere, which is called thermosphere. In thermosphere, it is very interesting to know that the temperature starts from minus 100 degrees centigrade, but gradually it goes up and it reaches 1500 degrees. Then there is the buffer zone, a few kilometers with 1500 degrees temperature. And then there is the fifth sphere, which is called the exosphere. In exosphere, being very far from the Earth, the attraction force of the Earth absorbs the higher molecules and atoms, and they come down. But there, the attraction force of the Earth is minimal, and there are just the lowest, there are just the hydrogen atom and a small amount of helium. But these atoms are very sparse, very small amount of them, so that the distance between two atoms is a few kilometers. One of the main actions of these 5 spheres is protecting the life on Earth from the stones which come from above the Earth. There are 2 kinds of stones which come to the Earth. One is called asteroids, and the other one is called comets. Comets are much more far away from the Earth. Asteroids are circling around the sun in a belt, in an area that they call it asteroid belt. It has several trillion of them in it. Each trillion is 1,000 billion, and each 1,000 billions, and each billion is 1,000 millions. Each day, about 1,000 of the asteroids are absorbed by the Earth and come towards the Earth. But these are mostly dust and grains. But their speed is 30 times faster than the bullet. So even a piece of dust that can hardly be seen, if it hits a human being, it goes inside and kills that person. With this speed that they have, upon the contact with the atoms that are in the air, in these 5 spheres, they become so hot that they become gases and they disperse in the air. Occasionally, one of them is big enough so that it doesn't become dispersed. Some of it becomes hot and disperses, but some of it remains, and it comes down and contacts and hits the Earth. And in this case, causes a lot of damages to the Earth. 65 million years ago, a big asteroid hit the Earth. With that speed that it had, the speed of 30 times faster than the bullet when it hit the Earth became so hot that all the forests burned because of the heat, and they became a smoke. And this smoke covered the earth all around it. At that time, the rulers of the earth were dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are very large, and they would eat or kill the smaller animals. Dinosaurs were two kinds. One kind that would eat grass and the branches of the trees was bigger. If it would stand on his, if he would stand on his legs, its head would reach the 7th floor of a building, if there was a building there. But those who were who eat meat, they were smaller. There is a reason that always those who eat meat are smaller than those who eat glasses. Because of this temperature, as I said, the dinosaurs died. The mammalians are the animals that instead of laying eggs, they deliver their babies and they feed them, they give them breast milk. The mammalians at that time were very small, because any one of them that would become larger, the dinosaurs would eat them. They were at the size of the mice. Even in that condition, they would just come out in the night, because in the daytime, still the dinosaurs could eat them. But at night, that the dinosaurs were asleep, they were feeling safe enough to come out. If this asteroid that hit the Earth had come 1 second later, it would have fallen into the ocean, and it would not have hit the Earth. It would not hit the Earth, and the dinosaurs would stay alive. This shows the will of God, that this asteroid hit the Earth at the very exact time that causes the death of the dinosaurs. Besides the asteroids, there are also comets outside of the Earth. Comets do not have the small ones. Most of them are several kilometers or across, or even larger than that. And they are made from ice and iron, or ice and stone. So iron comes to the Earth, has come to the Earth by the way of the comets. Very occasionally, a comet hits the Earth, and then it can cause a lot of damages. Above the 5 spheres which have air, there are 2 other spheres which do not have air. They are so high that there is no air in that area. But they have severe magnetism. The first one is made by the Earth, the magnetosphere that the Earth makes. I do not go into the way that the Earth causes that. That is because of the iron which is at the central core of the Earth, and moving around it causes magnetism. Now, what is the action of Earth's magnetosphere? The sun, its temperature at the surface is 6,000 degrees. At this temperature, in fact, at any temperature above 4,000 degrees, the atoms which are made of the electrons and the protons at the center, these electrons and protons become separate from each other, and they move independently. All the time, these electrons and protons come from the sun towards the earth. They call them solar wind. If these electrons and protons hit any living creature, it will kill that creature. Especially the protons are much more dangerous. The magnetosphere of the Earth, at the lower part, it is very weak. On the area that we walk on the Earth, there is magnetism, but it is very, very weak. That magnetosphere that I am talking about, it starts at 1,000 kilometers above the Earth, and its thickness is several thousand kilometers. The solar wind which comes towards the Earth, this magnetosphere absorbs them and does not let them come to the Earth and destroy the life. The second magnetosphere is made by the sun. The magnetosphere of the sun, being much bigger than the Earth, is very, very strong and very thick. It covers around the Earth and around all other planets that, like Earth, are around it and circle around the sun. Now, what is the action of the solar magnetosphere? There are constantly strong protons and electrons, but mostly protons, which come from the stars, from far away, and they are very, very strong. The magnetosphere of the Earth cannot stop them, but the magnetosphere of the sun stops them and protects the life on Earth. This verse 32, after saying that God has made the sky a roof safe and well guarded, states, yet they turn away from its signs, the signs of the earth. Discussion about this part. If we think about the amazing protective role of the sky for saving our lives, which is what this verse states, and I talked briefly about it, we should believe in the Quran. as God's word. And we should obey God that has made this protection for us. Thank you very much, and God bless you.